Herman Rosenblatt does have a real story of survival in the Nazi concentration camps, a story that is genuinely extraordinary. But as he explained to us in this exclusive interview, he felt he needed to make things up to get people to pay attention.
It's the greatest love story we've ever told on this show.
Oh my goodness.
Herman Rosenblatt received international attention for his story about being a hungry little boy in a Nazi concentration camp who was thrown apples every day by a little girl on the other side of the fence. Years later, according to the story, Rosenblatt met that same girl on a blind date in New York City, and he proposed on the spot.
I used to come by every day, bring the apple, have in my jacket and a piece of bread, and he used to say, "I'll see you tomorrow."
The story landed Herman and Roma Rosenblatt on Oprah twice and in newspapers all over the world. They also got a book and movie deal. But the story wasn't true. Why did you do it? Why did you tell such a big lie to so many people for so long?
It wasn't a lie. It was my imagination. And in my imagination, in my mind, I believed it. Even now I believe it, that she was there and she threw the apple to me.
How can you say it wasn't a lie? It wasn't true, and you know it's not true.
Yes, it's not true. But in my imagination, it was true.
Rosenblatt says he made the story up to give people hope and to promote understanding about the Holocaust. But members of his own family say his real motivation was money. So you were not motivated in any way by money?
No.
This is from your son. He said that he knew you were lying for years and he couldn't get you to stop. And here's his quote. "It was always hurtful. My father is a man who I don't know." How do you respond to that?
I don't know. I can't respond to it. I don't know why he said it. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him.
Herman and Roma Rosenblatt told their false story publicly for more than a decade, but it all fell apart about 6 weeks ago after Holocaust scholars proved that it was physically impossible for prisoners to approach the fence at the concentration camp where Herman was kept, and that Roma's family was actually more than 200 miles away at the time. Why did your wife agree to go along with this? Did she ever express any reservations?
Because she loves me.
Why is she not here today?
Because I don't want her to be here today. It's too much going on.
Was it difficult for your wife to have to go out very publicly and tell a story that she knew wasn't true?
It was. It was. But she loves me so much that if she thinks that's good for me, she'll go along with it.
Rosenblatt is remarkably unrepentant about his years of lying.
I pronounce my love for you forever.
When you look at that, does it make you uncomfortable at all?
No.
You think that was the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And while you were up on the stage there in front of all those people, in the back of your mind, were you not thinking,
no,
I'm not telling the truth here?
No.
Let me ask you just quickly about
I didn't hear you say you agreed to it. Do we agree to that?
Our interview was frequently interrupted by this man, Harris Solomon, who says he is planning to produce a fictionalized movie account of Rosenblatt's story, despite complaints from critics. If you look on Holocaust Denier websites right now, they're using it as we speak as an example of why you shouldn't believe Holocaust survivors.
Right. And those Holocaust Denier websites would perpetuate some other story if it wasn't Herman Rosenblatt.
Rosenblatt says he wants people to know that he did what he did with good intentions. So if you had to do it over again, would you tell the same story?
Yeah.
You would?
Yes.
Rosenblatt does say that he's sorry, but he's only sorry, he says, that people took the story, quote, the wrong way. His book deal for a nonfiction memoir fell through a couple of weeks ago because of this controversy, but a fictionalized book may come out this summer, and the movie version is supposed to start shooting this summer as well in Eastern Europe, Diane, and they say they're going to carry on despite the criticism.
I simply don't know what to say. I mean, it's his imagination, but he knows it's not true.
He says he made up a fantasy world, and he was living in that fantasy world.
And his son says, tried to stop him.
Yes.
Good heavens. Okay, thank you, Dan.
Pleasure.
Herman, how did you feel when all of this happened?
I felt terrible because I didn't mean to for it to happen, because the story of the book is still true. The whole story is true, the book and the movie. The only thing that's not true is about the apple.
Or you buy a house, you think you're going to live in that house for 20 years, but you have a mismatch. Your mismatch is your insurance. Your insurance is renewed every year. And if you're in a zone or an area where, the insurance company does not have the ability to raise rates unless reinsurance.
I'm glad they chose to be with me, but I'm the saddest person in the world that they chose to be with me, because they would have chosen to be with me.
They're so small that I just swallow them without water.
So, why does the United States want to protect its war criminals anyway? What does the United States gain by allowing Henry Kissinger and so many others to be safe and comfortable? Put simply, allowing Kissinger to be tried in an international court or allowing him to be extradited would not suit U.S. interests. If Kissinger were tried, the details of the trial would be embarrassing to the United States, and if Kissinger were convicted, it would open the door for future war crimes trials.
Fairstein stepped down from the boards of the nonprofits Safe Horizon and Vassar College. She also reportedly resigned from the boards for God's Love We Deliver and the Joyful Heart Foundation. When They See Us portrays Fairstein, played by Felicity Huffman, when she ran the sex crimes unit of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. In 1989, the prosecutor oversaw the wrongful conviction and imprisonment of 5 Black and Latino teenagers: Kevin Richardson, Antron McCrae, Raymond Santana, Corey Weiss, and Yusef Salam, after a white woman was attacked while jogging in Central Park. In 2002, after spending over a decade in prison, Fairstein wrote to Safe Horizon, "I do not want to become a lightning rod to inflict damage on this organization because of those now attacking my record of fighting for social justice for more than 45 years, adding that the series depicts me in a fictionalized version of events."
Someone comes up with a claim that is way out of the mainstream. I go on the offensive. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? I try to hold their feet to the fire as much as I can. Prove it to me. Sometimes we often talk about facts and opinions. I want to offer a different construct. Facts, opinions, lies. They want to take their lie, dress it up as an opinion, maybe an edgy opinion. But once it's an opinion, they want to enter the conversation and encroach on the facts. In their essence, Holocaust deniers are two things. They're neo-Nazis, but they have shed any outward connection to Nazism. So if you go to their gatherings, you won't see swastika-like banners. You won't see people giving the Sieg Heil salutes. Instead, you'll find people nicely dressed, looking very academic.
God must have a great sense of humor if he can make, this kid from Columbus, Ohio, so successful.
That's Leslie Wexner. He built an empire on fast fashion brands like Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, and Abercrombie & Fitch. The billionaire Midwesterner loves turning cornfields into country clubs. And by his own account, he's got more money than he knows what to do with. And who better to manage such a massive fortune at the height of his success than Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's boyfriend turned convicted pedophile.
So if you had to do it over again, would you tell the same story?
Yeah.
You would?
Yes.